We actually had a pretty rich physical life, in my opinion.
Oh my God. No! What are you doing? No! Even people that I don't really like, I usually don't weigh in when it comes to shit that involves family. So I'll give you a prime example. When Destiny was going through a divorce, I'm bringing it up. My feeling on it is it must suck to go through a divorce. And people could say, yeah, but if you're in an open relationship or this person did that or whatever, it was predictable. Maybe all of that's true, but it still sucks. Or if someone's fighting with a member of their family, I'm like, I don't know. I don't know. It sucks, man. Fighting with family sucks. Even if you're someone I don't like, that sucks for you. I'm not wishing that upon you. So I'm sort of breaking my rule a little today. But there is one rule I think that supersedes all of that. And that is, if it's really fucking funny, then I think you could talk about it a little. Now, I want to preface it by saying, I am still, the situation I'm about to talk about, I hope that it ends up well. I actually feel bad for the person I'll be talking to and their partner that's going through a divorce. I really feel bad for all parties involved. I feel bad if there's children involved. This is a situation where I'm not mocking that situation of the divorce. I'm mocking the way that it's being discussed. That's what I'm mocking. So I want to make that clear. That's what I'm doing here. And so today we're going to be talking about counterpoints in his divorce and some drama surrounding that. I'd like to take a moment to thank today's sponsor, Proton VPN. My audience knows I'm a huge tech boomer, and so I started using Proton VPN to stop with the constant tracking, and it's been a game changer. Proton VPN hides your IP from websites, advertisers, and the government, so you can access the web without being tracked. Proton VPN has a strict no logs policy that's been verified by independent security audits, and it has unlimited bandwidth even on the free option. Click the link in the description to try Proton VPN 100% free. It helps the show, and more importantly, it empowers you to take control of your internet privacy. I don't particularly like counterpoints for two of the reasons I already said. I think counterpoints is someone who was a centrist conservative, and for years, I thought he was a pretty good debater. He's still not bad on a lot of issues. Now, what I mean by that is, you have to understand, when I came up and was doing circa 2020, 2019, 2020, you'd be doing these debate panels primarily on Twitch. It would always be like 8 people. And they'd be like 4 lefties versus 4 right-wingers. And then the right-wingers would be like me and some fucking, well, I'm a gay trans person, but I did vote for Republican for the local school board election, but Trump sucked. We should all vote Democrat. That would be one of my partners. And then the next would be some libertarian like, I just don't vote. I don't talk about politics. That'd be my next partner. Then you'd have like counterpoints. And counterpoints could make arguments. Like, he's one of the better ones when it came to that crew. We had serious disagreements, obviously, but I believed him that he was a conservative and he could actually string a thought together, And so when Progressive Victory PAC, let me give you a little bit of the lore as I know it, and I'm probably wrong, and I don't give a shit. Brianna Wu is recruiting people for this PAC that he was involved in, Progressive Victory PAC. And basically it was I don't know if it qualifies as a super PAC or just a PAC, had the stated goal of helping Democrats win elections and making Democrats more progressive. Now, Connor, who calls himself a conservative, progressive would be the antithesis of that. Some people got hired by Progressive Victory PAC, and it seemed to make sense to me. There is no shame in taking money from a cause that you already agree with. What's the problem? If Glenn Beck calls me tomorrow and says, Rob, we'd like to hire you at the Blaze. We're not going to change any of your show. You could do whatever you want. All we ask is that we have a time slot that's an hour every night. Could you do that? We'll pay you $5,000 a month. Is there anything unethical about me saying yes? As long as I let my audience know, hey, I'm a member of the Blaze now. I don't think so. Now, if Glenn Beck calls me and says, Rob, we're going to hire you, we're going to pay you $5,000 a month, but you're no longer allowed to criticize any Republicans or Donald Trump. Yeah, then that seems to be unethical. If I'm like, sure, I could. And there's even a leeway I would give to slightly changing your focus. Like, I do that without getting paid. When it comes to election season, like going into 2024, I focused exclusively on winning the election. I didn't lie or say anything I didn't believe. So if like a Republican candidate hires me to help him win an election here in Pennsylvania, and I'm focused a lot on getting that Republican candidate hired, but the reason is because I ethically believe that I want him to win, I don't see a problem with that. Nonetheless, Progressive Victory, they're paying dudes like Destiny, makes sense, that's sort of his brand anyways. They're paying dudes like Wick, And other folks like that. I think Vosh, that all makes sense to a degree because I would say, yeah, they fit in line with that. But they paid counterpoints. Now, I've talked about this at great length, so I'll sum it up quickly. If you're a conservative, quote unquote, and you're working for a progressive group, not just helping Democrats win the presidency, but also win down ballot races and making those Democrats more progressive, I don't think you're really a conservative. That's just my opinion. Sounds like a little selling out, is what I think. And when you're willing to work for someone like Destiny, who says, I feel all conservatives should fear for their life to go in public, and that would include your family, that seems to be a bit fucking much, in my opinion. And so, I've gone back and forth with Connor on this, and I've debated him. Of course, he threatened to kick my ass at one point. I won't get into it much, but there was a situation where on X, his wife kept insulting me, basically saying that I was like blowing Donald Trump and this, that, and the other. And I pushed back after a while and was like, why are you obsessed with me and sexual organs? What's going on here? That was that. Then I talked to him not long after that. Connor's like, yeah, I don't have a problem with that. And we got into a pretty heated debate about working with Progressive Victory and shit. And then over in Sarah Tomato's channel, I went over, and months later, then he wanted to, if he sees me in real life, he's going to kick my ass. And this is, of course, he was saying, if there's a fascist in power, you have a moral obligation to use lethal violence to take them out. Is Trump a fascist? Well, I don't know. He's not smart enough to be a fascist. Just bullshit like that. Just bullshit. That's the other thing I don't like. I don't like when people suggest violence, and I don't like when people give suggestions to their audience that's obviously going to put them in legal trouble. Like, I debated this Vegan Gains one time. Everyone, he had this reputation that people were like, oh, he's like this maniac. I'd never seen the guy. And from the first start to talk to him, there was something about him I thought seemed likable. And then we're debating this one particular black man that was killed by police. I forget which one, but he was killed by black police. And this guy was arguing it was because of racism. And part of his argument was one of the black cops said the N-word. And I'm like, really, dude? But all that's fine. That's just within the bounds of debating insane lefties. And then this guy, he proceeds to tell everyone listening, if you're a black person, basically, and police pull you over, you should flee. You should run. So if you're a black guy and you're driving down the road and the cop flashes the lights behind you, speed away. Go on a high-speed chase to get away from the cops. And I was like, that's fucking insane. That's not funny. I can handle people with shit opinions, but when you're telling people, hey, do this thing that's going to land you in prison and probably have a good chance of leading to you being involved in a serious car wreck or harming someone else, what a dumb thing to say. That shit pisses me off. Just saying, like, we want reparations or cops are racist or whatever. I live with that. That's fine. But that's a different level. That's why the other day when Wick was telling his audience, go break the law, intentionally obstruct ICE, you have a moral obligation. That's fucked up. So that's where I stood with Connor. Now, a couple things. At one point on this show, I shit you not, a gentleman called into my show and said he was Connor's brother in real life. Now, I was dubious, but I will say this. Proof was sent to me that I have 95% confidence it actually was. I'm not going to show that proof, but it looks like it was actually Connor's brother, and he had some unflattering things to say. I sort of cut it off, and here's the reason. I hope that Connor, if any animosity between Connor and his family, I hope clears up. I really do. Politics is one thing, your personal life's something different. So I don't want to hear about Connor's personal drama from someone who's a member of his wife or family. If his ex-wife wanted to call in, I wouldn't want to talk to her either. That's beyond the scope. I don't begrudge the people that do have those conversations. I don't begrudge the family member who wants to speak out. They absolutely have the right to. That's not my forte. I just don't want to involve. That's all. And weirdly enough, even with Brian Shaprio, that Sarah Spector lady, she's reached out to me several times and wants to come on the show and give her side of the story of the allegations against Brian Shaprio. And I personally, it's a level of drama beyond what I want to get involved in. Now, if Brian was making it personal with my family and shit, that's a different story. But as it is right now, So the other day, someone asked me if I had heard that Connor was getting a divorce. And I said no, and they asked what I thought about it, and I gave my honest opinion. That sucks. I feel bad for the guy. I feel bad for his wife. If they have kids, I feel bad for them. Hopefully, they could reconcile. It doesn't appear that that's occurred, as far as I know. Now, the only reason I know about this is because someone then proceeded to make me aware of a video, and apparently Connor is discussing the details of his relationship and his divorce. My advice would be this. You probably want to keep this personal stuff personal. I feel that people overshare too much online, myself included. Am I oversharing when I say, hey, my son just graduated preschool, we went to a parade today? Maybe. In today's psychotic world, with who knows is watching online, maybe that's too much. And it's something I have to seriously think about. But I would think, like, heaven forbid I would get a divorce with my wife. I don't see that occurring, but I guess most people don't see it occurring. I'll say this. I'd probably tell you all, like, look, my wife and I have had a divorce, and that would be it. I don't think I would go into more details. There's also this big drama going on at the moment with some of these left-wingers like Chud Logic and J-Stock and Queamon, and they're fighting with Destiny and his orbiters. And it has to do with the lawsuit of Destiny not having consent to send nude photos, and were some of them underage and this, that. I can't even, the details of such, I don't have the energy to dive in and see which side's correct. I just feel like everybody comes across looking like a shithead. So I'm not here to comment on the specifics on which side's right, which side's wrong. But the drama with the orbiters and stuff, I find quite funny. So apparently, now Connor's been blacklisted by Destiny. I'm not sure why, because Connor talks to dudes like Doobie that Destiny feels have doxed him and his family. And Connor was like, but that doesn't give you the right to dox other people. Like, what about this guy? He's a lawyer and you doxed him. And Destiny's like, yeah, fuck that guy. He's helping these dudes. And so it led to a falling out. Now, this is a big problem for Connor, because I think that part of Connor taking the Progressive Victory Pack money was money, but I think the bigger part was the community. And I said this at the time. I think that a lot of these people, Connor included, they just want to be part of that Destiny community. They want access to that audience. So now, looks like Connor sort of drew a line in the sand, which I guess could be admirable. That's like, yeah, fuck you. No, Destiny, I feel you've done shitty things and you should answer for it. And Destiny, is basically in this mode where he's like, I made all you motherfuckers. I made you all. I saw he put a post up from his Discord, or someone put a post. It was like, I got people hired at Progressive Victory. Hundreds of thousands of dollars go through these community because they're my fans. Fuck these people. They don't have my back. I don't know about the having the back portion, but I agree. Destiny made a lot of these people. Wick, he's hanging on because of Destiny. Probably a lot of Connor's audience was Destiny. Now, I don't know how well they're doing, but that's the truth. But kudos to Connor if what happened was he drew a line in the sand and said, I don't give a shit. I'm going to tell you how I feel anyways, Destiny. Wick's not going to do that. Anyways, why do you give a shit about any of this? You don't. And neither do I, really. Except what I'm about to show you. Now, I'm only going to show 1 minute of this. But this is a fucking 2 hours and 15 minute video. And I'm just going to show you the opening. I laughed my ass off at this. Now, what this is another character that's involved in this is this guy, Chud Logic. Now, I've debated Chud before on a serious issue. I debated Chud like 4 or 5 years ago, before the Twitter files even broke, about whether or not right-wingers were censored more online than left-wingers. But Chud's sort of now almost fully, to my understanding, I don't know if he would like the word drama streamer. That's basically what I would consider it. But he streams about online personalities, right? That's what Chud's doing. So whatever. It's not my cup of tea, but whatever, I don't care. Sure, why not? And so this video is from Chud Logic's stream, and I'm going to link it. And I'm only going to play like the first minute. So thank you, Chud, for implicitly allowing me. What this is going to be is Chud covering a stream. Apparently Connor did a public stream discussing his divorce. Oh my goodness. Let's just watch the opening. Obviously this is edited, but this is apparently things that are said throughout this video. Here we go.
What happened was in September, we hit a rocky part of the relationship. It's a myriad of things. It's online politics.
Oh no. Oh no. Online politics? Oh no. Dude, don't discuss why. Don't discuss. Oh no. Yeah, is it because you're a fake conservative? Is it because the community you're involved with is a little too aggressive? Oh, no. How embarrassing. If that was true, if my wife leaves me, it's like, Rob, I'm leaving you because you play these stupid fucking whip songs online and you debate all these morons. I'm leaving you. There's no chance I would voluntarily tell people that. No. What are you doing? It gets worse.
It's me getting to work from home.
Getting to work from home. Now, I will say this. I now work from home and I didn't before. Yes, same. My wife. Now, I'm sure my wife would tell you, obviously, me being home more, there is more of a room for us to have disagreements, of course. But we're way happier than I'm home. But okay, I understand. If part of your relationship is, the norm is, I'm a truck driver and I'm on the road 70 hours a week. And then all of a sudden it's, I'm staying at home. And like, I don't know, just why would you bring this up? Because then it allows for people to speculate. Is it distinct from home? Could that also include online politics, staying at home? Just, could it be, hey man, you're not making money? You're not making as much as you used to? I don't know. Does that maybe explain why he was desperate to get hired by Progressive Victory PAC? Because it was like, dude, now that you're doing this as a full-time job, I don't know. All right, let's keep going.
It's some of the trauma from being in law enforcement.
Trauma from being in law enforcement. And you can see, like or hate Chud, or not know who he is, whatever your take may be. He has the right. It's just like, no, dude, don't. What are you doing? Don't, man. This is not good. This is not good, man. Don't do this. Don't do it. It's enough to be like, look, I want to be open with my audience. My wife used to, be part of the stream in a small way or whatever. We're actually going through a separation, so I'm not really going to discuss the details, but hey, I still love her. We're going to do everything we can for our kids. So, but just so you know, I've been going through some difficult times. That's about that. That's how you should approach this. I mean, you can do what you want, I guess, but, oh, man.
Some of the trauma. We actually had a pretty rich physical life, in my opinion.
Oh, my fucking God. No! No! What are you doing? No! What is that shit? What are you doing? Well, we were having sex pretty good, No. Now, I gotta be honest. One of the people in the community that suggested this video to me was a woman and told me, and I don't know if this is true, and we'll see what you all think, but this lady told me, this is Connor trying to get laid. Oh, I was good at sex, And they're like, just watch. This is like reaching out to, remember, this is before he had a falling out with the Destiny community. This is sort of like reaching out to this online community. It wasn't the sex life. The sex life was great. But whatever it is, my goodness.
No.
Yeah, Chud's reaction's pretty spot on.
No. Stop. Why are you telling us this, bro?
Do I want to do a slutty phase?
Let's hear that again.
You telling us this, bro?
Do I want to do a slutty phase?
This isn't a 16-year-old woman. This is a 40-something-year-old man going through a divorce with children, with kids. What are you doing? What the fuck is happening? Do I want to do a slutty phase? What the fuck? What are you doing? That's when I didn't think of it. I was just like, this is fucking embarrassing. But then when that lady was like, this is him trying to get laid. Oh, we were intimate. It was good. Maybe, am I going to try to do a slutty phase? And it makes sense. You're like, oh, this is him trying, what do you call it? Swipe right? Am I right? Like on Tinder? Oh my goodness. What is happening? Yeah, someone said, imagine your kids. Like, I don't know how old the kids are, but I know I've heard his kids on stream and I know he's said that he's a father. Imagine, hey, you're in a fight, an argument at like 14 years old and like study hall at school. Fuck you, my dad used to be a cop. Oh yeah? That dude online asking if he wants to go through a slutty phase? That guy? What are we doing?
I hit one of her yellow flags and that triggered a red flag for her.
What the fuck is this? Yellow flags? Red flags? What the fuck is that? I hit one of her yellow flags, and then that became a red flag. What? Why are you doing this? What does that mean? What are you doing? This is talking like fucking ladies on TikTok. That's what it sounds like. If you changed the voice, used AI to change the voice, and you didn't see an image, you would assume this was a fucking lady. What is happening? Now, some of these fucking weirdos, I'd be like, yeah, okay, I expect this sort of crazy shit. But whatever I thought of Connor, I didn't think this. It's just so cringe.
There is a little bit of tension during like pickup and drop off where he's excited to see mom, and so he runs away and gives her a hug, and then he tells, you know, hey dada, come on, but I don't, and he gets a little.
I mean, there might be a little more tension when your kids get old enough to know that their dad's online talking about if they need to enter your slutty phase. Now look, I want to be clear. I've never been through a divorce, and I actually feel really bad for Connor for that. I do. I'm not making that up. And I feel bad for his kids, and I feel bad for his wife. That's not to say who's to blame. The kids aren't to blame. But maybe the wife's solely to blame, and Connor's being admirable by, at least on the clip there I've seen of not saying that. Great. Maybe he's to blame. But this is bad. This is bad. This is not good to be out there divulging this information. It just is. What are you doing? Why would you do this? Is it for clicks? Is it you're trying to hook up with another chick? I don't know, man. But it is not a good look. It's just not, man. And I was shocked. I really was. I was like, I'm not going to give a shit about this. I feel bad. I fully expected this video to just be like, yeah, man, I'm going through a divorce and it sucks. And then Chud to be laughing like, oh, yeah, that you were a big man. You ran your mouth about X, Y, and Z. And then the person that sent me this was like, they also sent me this. This was one of the most upvoted comments. Says the TLDE is his wife left him for Rob Knorr. That is not true. She is not with me, I assure you. But that's why this was sent to me. A lot of shit show. Just a crazy shit show. And this dude threatened to fight me. He's just been an all-out dickhead to me, if I'm honest. And yet still I feel bad for the guy who's going through a divorce. But my goodness. Like, why are you doing this? Again, is it because you're trying to hook up with some chicks and you think, oh, you know, she had some yellow flags and we were very intimate. Apparently somewhere in the video he says that he hasn't been intimate since September. What are you doing? Why are you divulging this shit? But once you put it out there, and here's the thing, right? I guess you could say, well, Rob, aren't you kind of laughing at it? But I'm just laughing at the cringe of it. Let me tell you a little about some of the people in Destiny's community. They're gonna fucking latch onto this like rabid wolves. They'll make fun of this dude till the end of fucking time for this. I'm pretty benign. Like, if I'm your op, I'll be like, fuck you, you're a shitty debater. You're a sellout. I ain't gonna fucking dox you. I ain't gonna talk shit in your family. Take a look at another example. Sarah Tomato. She's fucking suing me. What have I said the whole time? Like, I'm not interested in her personal life. She seems like a good mom. I'm getting sued. What did her best friend Dusty do when they had a falling out? Fuck her and her relationships and blah, blah. Starts talking about her relationships. That's what it's like in the online world. Not everyone's a polite of an op as me. Connor's a bit of a special exception, given that he wanted to beat my ass and all this shit in real life. Okay. But again, I hope he repairs it with his wife. I'm just saying, dude, don't fucking talk about this shit online. You are tangentially a Nick Fuentes supporter. Would it be claws for me to just be like, Nick Fuentes is a gay Mexican. He's a fed. He was with a cat boy. Notice how I don't do that. I just attack his ideas. Same with Connor. Same with Destiny. Same with Sarah and everyone else. On one hand, you're saying, oh, that's me. This shows me not having claws, which isn't a virtue. On the other hand, if I said those shit about Nick, you'd be like, oh, because you can't handle it. You just got to smear him because you can't handle his ideas. Make up your mind. Now, apparently, he's had this falling out with Destiny now. Post this video, right? Where the gist of it is Destiny, this is me. I can't even make, it's so fucking crazy. It's like, you know how you have these soap operas? You have these soap operas like Days of Our Lives. Is that still on? Now, I don't know much about it. This dude that I used to bartend with, he was a mechanic. He would just bartend a little on the weekends. And he's like this redneck fucking general, like just a redneck. Good dude. And he had a garage. This dude fix anything. But he always, I think it was like from 1 to 2 or 12 to 1. Every day religiously would watch Days of Our Lives. It was his thing. And he'd been doing it for like over a decade. But I think the way it works, how does a show like that go for so long? Eventually, one character just gets written off. They die or they leave or whatever. And you just bring on new characters, I guess. So if you were to start, I guess the one that's like a dude soap opera is like professional wrestling. Like if you don't watch professional wrestling for 5 years and then you're like, oh, okay, let's go back in and watch it. You might recognize, oh, there's John Cena. I know him. Who's this guy he's arguing with? I don't know that guy. What's going on here? Who are these two guys? I don't know them. So it's sometimes hard to follow the plot. You have to like watch for a month or two before you start to get like, okay, because you're always entering in the middle of it. That's what this online drama is. Unless you were there from the beginning, you're always entering somewhat in the middle. So now with X, I don't know why. Maybe it's because Destiny just unblocked me. But now all of a sudden this shit's popping up in my feed. Oh, Queemon and J-Stock and Destiny. And I have to admit, I'm sort of looking at it with a bit of a chuckle. It seems to me like what's going on is there's accusations Destiny's making that people have done some real horrible shit. Maybe he's been swatted, or people has been doxing him and doxing his kid and maybe doxing his baby mama. I don't know. And then he is like going scorched earth and like, fuck you, then my community will dox you. Allegedly, it seems like that. And so these other dudes are like, oh, Destiny's terrible. He's doxing people and blah, blah, blah. But then people are like, yeah, but you guys have done that shit in the past too. And that's where we're at. It's some bullshit, right? Whatever. Oh my God. What the fuck? All right, here we go. Apparently, this is Connor talking about Destiny. Connor and Destiny had a falling out, and apparently one of the things Connor had said was that there was this guy that reached out to Connor, or reached out to people on X, and Connor messaged him, DM'd, and they had a conversation and was like, yeah, Destiny's sexting my wife and they're doing weird age play shit. And so Connor read a letter that he sent to Destiny in November that was like, hey man, you're fucking shit up. This is gross. Here is Connor's explanation talking to that guy today of what happened.
And you said that they role-played as step-parents, that Steven received pictures of your children that were not in a sexual context, but he still knew what they looked like. They role-played stepmom, stepdad sexual fantasies in which the children were being molested. And then they also role-played as the teenagers themselves engaging in an underage sexual tryst. And that was so fucking disturbing to you that you wished you could destroy the online personal and professional reputation of Destiny. That's what you told me in November. So is that accurate or not?
At the time, I definitely did want to destroy the online personal reputation of Destiny. This is true. Yeah.
Okay. And was my description of what you told me in November accurate or no?
I don't remember if I said exactly like that. Like I said, I'd have to pull it up. But I was pissed. I pretty much just told you generally what she told me. Who knows? Like I said, I really need to go back and look at it. It's been so long. I'm trying to move past it, trying to get my own shit going on, get my own thing together. But in terms of, like I said, you got the locks. I don't even know why you need me, to be honest. So I don't really personally want to get into too many details. I just wanted to come on to kind of clarify a few things that, like, there was no Telegram group. I keep hearing about this Telegram group. That was a joke that went too far because me and her were arguing and fighting about Destiny.
So there's only two ways to look at this. This is very curious. First off, I don't know how you'd forget something like that. So right out of the gate, I'm like, now wait a minute. So maybe this story is bullshit. But then he says, Connor, you have the logs. And Connor says, I do. Basically saying it in an affirming state, like, yeah, this is the shit that was said. Now, let me be clear. I don't think that this is proof that Destiny did that. I don't. This could all be made up bullshit. However, if he did that shit, that is beyond the fucking pale. That's out of control. If you are getting pictures of, I assume, teenagers, of a woman you're flirting with children, and then sexually role-playing about assaulting those children, that's out of control. The only some of this shit, like, I'll be honest, Destiny filmed himself sleeping with a woman, and she sent the pictures to someone, and he sent the pictures to someone. That shit sucks, right? Fuck. But at some point, you're just like, but this is a different level. That's a different level. If we think that, like, what they call, I don't even know if you could say it on YouTube, lolly, which is people into sexual pictures of animated children. If we say that's fucked up and gross, which we do, why wouldn't imagining assaulting underagers, seeing their picture, be just as bad, if not worse? I don't know. I just saw that and was like, what the fuck? Because I saw what the X post was, and I was like, no way it says that. It says it. So for me, I think the only defense of this, and it may very well be absolutely 100% true, is for Destiny to say, that's bullshit. None of that happened. And I'm not willing to pass judgment on Destiny that it happened based on this clip of this guy who's like, seems mealy-mouthed. But this is the first thing that I've heard that I'm like, this is really bad. Like, there is no explanation. You could even have an explanation, but didn't you have nudes of a 17-year-old girl? It's like, well, what were the circumstances? I'm not saying that's good, right? But was it like you didn't know she was 17, and then once you found out, you gave it to the authorities and shit? That's different. Still not saying good, but there would be nothing remotely defensible about that. Anyways, sorry to put that vile shit on you. Man, what a terrible, terrible. If that's true, man, that's terrible. And then it raises other questions, right? Like I have friends in the online space. Like, I'm friends with Andrew Wilson. If someone came to me and was like, look, this is what Andrew was doing with my wife, and gave that exact story, and I went to Andrew and was like, is this shit true? And Andrew was like, yeah, I wouldn't be friends with Andrew anymore. So what was Connor doing? If Connor believed this, why the fuck was he still buddies with Destiny up until like last week? Wouldn't that be enough for any normal person to be like, what the fuck? No. So it puts Connor in an interesting position. It's like, did you believe this dude? When he says you have the logs, do the logs show that? If they do, how the fuck were you still friends with Destiny? Yeah, that's what I said from the get-go, that my interest was like these orbiters. All of them like rest on their high horse like, oh, we respect women and this and that. You find out this shit happens, and then like all these orbiters are like, well, it's like, if you knew about this shit and were willing to accept it, don't fucking stand on your high horse now. Just be honest.